All right, Mom, our last of the interviews here today on July the 2nd is to ask you about your young motherhood. When you were a young mother, you had two really, really cute little daughters. So tell us about them and how you raised them and what they were like, okay?
Okay. Yes, I had two daughters. I think 2 years apart, or a year and 10 months apart. And I remember that my husband told me we have to live with his mother and sisters until he was able to rent a house so we could move. So I had my little girls, and I remember my husband's mother always told her daughters and me, if you buy any dresses, buy them the same. I want them to be dressed like twins. So I had to buy, we always had to buy and dress them alike. And they like that. They love to be dressed up in cute dresses. And every Sunday I took them to church, even though my husband didn't go very often to church, but I did. And I took my two girls, and then I would always go to a park. I had a small little camera to take pictures
Oh,
of
really?
them.
You had a camera then?
And I had them dressed real cute
Mm-hmm.
and tried to dress them alike.
Yeah.
And
I've seen a lot of those pictures, and they were very, very cute.
then when I had my son, I would dress him up cute too, very handsome. Take all three to church and then to a park, because I love to take pictures of them and me with them. I always dressed up as nice as I could so I could look like a very dressed up mother and be as proud as I was of my kids. I wanted them to be proud of me.
Well, we certainly are, that's for sure. So when you dress them alike, the girls in particular, because they were older, then what were they like? Did they like to play together? Tell us about each one. How are they different, and how were they the same?
Well, not too much difference, but my oldest daughter, Maria, was a quiet one. Quiet girl.
Quiet, studious.
But Wilma, no, she was on the go all the time. She just had a lot of energy, and Maria would get mad because she didn't want Wilma to be jumping up and down. She wanted her to be more settled, and that's the way Wilma was. That was the difference between the two. But then when I had my son, well, they were crazy about him, and they all played real nice until one Sunday. I remember I dressed them all. They were all dressed up in their Sunday clothes, and the girls were outside, and so was my son, and he was waiting for me. And as I came out of the house, to my surprise, my son got the water hose and sprayed them with a water hose.
What a mischievous little boy.
And got them all wet, and boy, was I mad.
I bet the girls were mad too.
But the girls were so upset that they both wanted to jump at their brother and hit him for doing that, because we had to miss Mass. We couldn't make it. And that's what happened that Sunday.
It was the original Catholic revolt. So then, how long did you dress the girls the same? Because they were only 2 years apart.
Yes. Well, I dressed them for several years, and then they would ask me. They were tired of people asking, "Are you both twins?" No, we're not. How come they dress you alike? Because my mother likes to dress us alike. Well, finally they got to the age where they didn't want to be dressed alike.
That was when they were about 21, right? No, I'm just kidding.
No. But they finally decided this is enough. So then they started dressing different.
Well, they did a lot of dances and things like that, and they were in a lot of weddings.
Oh,
Is what I
yes.
remember, because
It seemed
you were in a lot of weddings, and then they were invited to be the
to
flower
be also
girls
maid of
and maid
honors
of,
and to be damas de cojín, the cushion, bridesmaids, and
hmm
I don't know how I did it.
But even as little girls, they would always
Oh, there
show
were
up in all the
little
wedding
flower
pictures.
girls,
Uh-huh.
and even to hold the train at a water, the brides, bridal train. They were invited to participate in that too, and took money, but I don't know how I did it. I always didn't say no. I always said yes
hmm
to all the ones that invited them, and
Yeah.
invited us. We had so many couples that asked us to be in their wedding.
Well, that was a cultural thing too. Everybody was close, and if somebody asked you to be their godparent to their
Also,
children,
right,
or to sponsor them in
right,
baptism or all, and then that way you became their madrina,
right.
right? Their
Mothers,
co-mother, and dad was a padrino, and so you had a lot of people that you're connected with in that
Right.
way, not only the children but also their parents.
also their
Right.
parents. Yes,
Uh-huh.
we made friends very quickly there in
Mhm.
San Angelo as well as in Del Rio.
Mhm.
Because when we got married, I had 12 bridesmaids.
Mhm. Wow.
And even at our 25th in San Angelo,
Mhm.
I had 15 bridesmaids.
From the original.
Some of them
Some of
were
them
able
were the
to
same.
participate, and some
Uh-huh.
had passed away, or some couldn't.
Uh-huh.
But I tried to get them all.
Yeah, that was nice.
So
That's very nice. Nice
thank
of them.
God we got married in 1939. We celebrated our 25th in 1964, and celebrated our 50th in 1989.
Very good. You passed the math test
I did.
too.
Oh, I did? I'm surprised.
No, not at all. Well, that was great, and then you got to see them married and have
Yes.
children
Got
of
to see
their
them.
own. You've gotten to take your own 4-generation pictures
Right?
and all
Mm-hmm.
with that. The
Oh,
family has a lot of very strong women, and you
Yes.
set a very good example. Your mother set a very good example, and the girls
She did.
continue that example. So that's very good. The world is better off because of all
Uh-huh.
of you. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Thankful that here I am, 98 years old, and I can still remember a lot of things,
Mhm.
and I can be able to answer a lot of questions.
Yes, you
I
can.
don't know until when, but I'm
Well,
still trying to do it. I'm still doing it. Not
Well,
trying, but doing it.
You are, and you're ambulatory. You have your friend Enrique, who is this.
Oh, yes,
Who is this
my-
show. Tell us about Enrique.
Oh, gosh, I can't. My daughter Maria named it Enrique, but I don't know why, but she selected that name. So now, sometimes I can take off without it, and I forget. I get up from the table and go to the den, and then all of a sudden I look around, can't find my cane, and then Maria would pop out and say, "Mom, where's Enrique?" But she named my walking cane Enrique.
All right, and Enrique is never too far behind,
No.
and doesn't seem to get his feelings hurt too
No,
much.
It does.
Okay, Mom. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay.